Hey guys, I am here with a full-sized update today, and I'm filming from home, so hopefully there's no disruptions. As I said last week, we are on the verge of partnering with Kate Mayer, Old South Veterinary Services, um, to help her with her business, to help with house calls. Well, sometimes things don't work out as planned, and basically our businesses are a little bit too different. We've had some frustrated clients of hers this week, and she is unable to commit to continuing to see patients underneath our umbrella. So what we've decided to do instead is basically just absorb her client list. It's really simple. It's a clean way to do it. It's called a fold-in, as I described before. So that's kind of happening pretty much immediately. She is preparing to send notice. I will post a picture of the email that she's sending to her clients within the next day or so. I'll post it in Slack. And basically, she's describing that she's just no longer seeing patients in the area, and instead, she is referring all of her patients to LVCC. It's really nicely written, and I think that you'll appreciate it from her perspective. One thing that I want you to know about that is that some of the clients that she has are already in our system, but may have records through her. Other clients that she's going to be sending our way have never been seen at LVCC, but also have records through her. And then other people may have just had kind of a loose relationship, maybe shopped her online pharmacy, so on, and haven't really had a pet need yet. Our mission is, no matter the circumstance that her clients are coming to us with, we will have access to her system. So if a client of any nature, any of those circumstances that I mentioned, calls and says, hey, I was seeing Dr. Kate Mayer and she's referred me to you, you should respond by saying, has your pet ever been seen by her? Because if that's the case, then we will be able to get records out of her system and put them into ours. I'll let you know as we firm up exactly how that's going to look, but that's how it can look immediately. I have access to her system. It's different and not as user friendly as Avamark. So what my plan is to have the manager on call be able to give you access to that and help you to essentially download records out of her system and get them in a PDF format and email them to info@Lafayette Vets, just as she would if that was the necessity or the situation. That'll be the setup that we have from now until further notice, until we're able to formalize something or see if we can do some kind of bulk import. We'll let you know as soon as that happens. Until then, that would be the way to proceed. If you have questions, come to me directly or to your department manager, because we might not have the answer yet, but can figure it out for you. In the meantime, we've also hired Dr. Don Meyer from Crowley Veterinary Hospital, was his last practice. He recently resigned from that practice as he visited us this last Tuesday and mentioned in rounds. So if you want to hear that message from him, make sure you go listen to the Tuesday rounds. But he's joined our practice on a part-time basis with the intention of fill-ins and extra relief for our group until maybe something more permanent opens up. So we're going to be starting to schedule with him routinely starting next week. He's going to work on Wednesday mornings in the place of Dr. Patrick. So Dr. Patrick was on the schedule from 9:30 until 6. I'll be changing that in Avamark here shortly to where Dr. Dawn will be available from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. and Dr. Patrick for the second half of the day, just to have something more permanent as he gets to know us. Because he had kind of a following for years as an established veterinarian in the Crowley area, it's likely that people will call and request directly for him, and also that he will need to have a referral type added. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then you'll know that his routine scheduled day is Wednesdays and then also maybe fill-in days in between. Every doctor in our practice is in some kind of weekend rotation, so it's likely that that'll be the case for him too. You'll see that reflected on the Avamart calendar. Above all that, Dr. Don, welcome to the team. We are beyond honored and humbled to have you as part of our group. You're an incredible vet, and I think that this partnership going forward is going to be just awesome. Okay, moving on to the next part of our update. We are the week before what we have deemed Employee Appreciation Week. We celebrated last year, kind of nestled the week between the other nationally recognized support team weeks, which were Veterinary Technician Week. I'm sure you've heard the buzz on social media or maybe had a treat from Danielle this week as well. And then the week after, well, 2 weeks away from now, is Receptionist Appreciation. There's Bosses Day settled in there somewhere. So we just said, hey, you know what? We all put in the same effort. We're all important and valuable, and we're going to celebrate you, our entire support team, with one Employee Appreciation Week next week. So the only reason that I'm really telling you this, you have nothing to prepare for except for maybe some goodies coming your way, is that we will have some meals for you. So look out in Slack for that kind of meal schedule so you know when to prepare to eat, and maybe which days that you can skip packing or eating breakfast at home or whatever. And we've tried to time it out accordingly. Also, upcoming on your schedule in Humanity, you'll see a couple of things. I can't stress this enough, actually. I want you to make sure that you're always looking at your Humanity schedule, not only for the shift that you would normally work, but sometimes nestled within there are some meeting times. Some of our newer team members, if you've worked here for like less than 3 or 4 months, we might have some orientation kind of touch point meetings where we want to share like another little avenue of our company with you. Or maybe we've got a department style meeting coming up for you and we want to share it there. So the specifics will always be there because sometimes some people are assigned to those times and other people have different assigned times. It just works out that way. So always make sure you check those. Coming up, the last part of October, so I guess in 2 weeks, we will have kind of a town hall style meeting. If you've been around a while and you remember those, that's kind of our way of saying like whole team meeting. We're getting together to tell you about business direction. It's been a while since we've had one. We've tried different meeting styles, and I'm thinking that right now this is a fit because we have some changes coming down the pipeline. All good things, nothing drastic, but just some general direction that we want you to know about so that you can follow and know what's going on with and within the company that you work for. So all positive things, all very exciting things, kind of been a build type thing. So we can tell you a rough direction in some cases, or maybe a more specific direction. So look out. We'll post those dates and times in Slack and also assign those meeting times in your Humanity. So please look out for that. Other upcoming things that are really important is also within the next 2 weeks, we're doing a full inventory count again. We did this in the spring. We'll do this again in 2 weeks. Again, we'll get you the specifics over when those will be. It really doesn't affect everybody. I just want you to know what's going on so that you don't assume that anything's going wrong. It's just a responsibility that we have to take a general inventory and measure our assets. So everything's okay with that. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is pretty specific, but a reminder and something that I have to bring up because it's been an issue. This is a reminder to not post patient pictures to your personal social media pages. This is not allowed, y'all. This is a privacy violation. It opens us up to a lot of liability. And also, when you signed the employee handbook to work for our company or to continue working for our company, You agreed not to do that. So we're going to hold you personally and individually accountable when we see these things happening. It's not okay. You shouldn't even take a picture of a patient with your own device. There's no need for that. You can't say, oh my gosh, I love dachshunds and this is the cutest dachshund ever. Let me send this picture to my mom. That's not okay. Even if the owner gives you permission directly, you can't do that. So please don't, and certainly don't publish them to your social media. You'll be written up, and those things accumulate to bad stuff. So don't do that. Just make sure you give that your full and complete attention. The next thing that I have is for outside lab work, we have designated team members who do these who maintain that list. Stevie, Cassandra, Tatum. We're still having some CCS team members pop up and do them kind of intermittently and incorrectly attach them, and this creates confusion. So leave this to those few people, Stevie, Cassandra, and Tatum, who are assigned to that. They have a particular method to do, and it's the most concise and accurate to just allow them to do their craft. One less thing for you too, so don't worry about that. Leave that for them. Please also, this is a message from Lauren Alamo and Lauren Amon, and if you don't know, she's fantastic, and I do whatever she says. And she says to tie the trash bags before you put them in the dumpster, because they break open and we get bugs and critters, and it's disgusting. And that's right by her workspace, which is the shed, and you're making her life really unhappy. So stop and start tying the bags. We're getting pests, and pests are gross. So please don't do that. Also, we had a rough last week implementing Ginger, but we made it. We made it, and it was so worth the fight because this software is awesome. We had a ton of limitations within Atlantis, which was a good software for us and served us well for a long time. But we kind of, as a business, outgrew it, and we were failing patients in some ways by not having a very accurate, performing, and robust software. So Ginger is definitely delivering. We're on a solid front. As little issues are popping up, we're resolving them. I've thanked all the appropriate people for making that happen. But one thing that I wanted to share going forward is to make sure everyone has crystal clear understanding. One of the main benefits of us changing to Ginger is that there's a client interface to it, which means we can work the software, but clients can also get in the software and make reservation and appointment requests. And then we can simply accept those requests and they end up on the calendar. So all the people who have been trained and who regularly have that responsibility understand how it happens. But I need everyone else within the business to understand that that is an option and that's happening. We have various pages of our website that direct clients to make an appointment. They can make an appointment in Avamark, right? So a request will come through, and then the customer care team on the back end accepts that, puts it in Avamark, and it goes through. With boarding, grooming, daycare, dog training, mobile grooming, any of the services that happen at the resort, those requests come through, and as soon as we click accept, there's no team member back end. It just goes right in. So what I love about this is we can alter availability and show that there's no availability on certain days. We can edit things. It gives us a lot more control. And from a support team member, like if I were working as a nurse and a client said, hey, can you also make me a grooming appointment? You can do it that way without having to go in Ginger and potentially do something that's more permanent and get them scheduled. And the client will get notices when things have been accepted and confirmed and so on. So that's a really clean way to do it, is just hop on our website and make that for them until we're able to remove some of the glitches, finish our learning curve, and open that up to actually giving you access where you can like confirm an appointment, etc. So just know that that's happening, and that's something that you can offer. The clients have access to go in and update their own records too. So if they change their phone number or anything like that, it's really, really cool. If you've ever used our resort for your own personal pets, hop in and check it out. It's really, really easy to get into, and I think that you'll love it. You can just go to our website and follow the links that way. Super fun, super easy, and we'll begin marketing on that pretty soon. The next thing that I wanted to remind is that yes, we do see exotic pets, and I've noticed that there have been a couple circumstances that come up where I've been a little bit disappointed with our inconsistent message. Dr. Ryan is by far the most knowledgeable exotic guy that we have. He is the guru as far as it comes in the LVCC family for seeing pocket pets, reptiles, birds, and so on. However, we do have a Google sheet and we do have guides all over the place that guide you to the other doctors who can see certain types of pets to get them in on an as needed basis. And there's almost never a time where the majority of species aren't going to be represented to be able to be seen during the daytime. So that's reminder number one. Reminder number two is that if not, that's not the case, and you have a patient who can't be seen at a certain time, and you feel like that patient's in distress and can't wait till the next time Dr. Ryan works, you got to put that patient first and refer them to another hospital. So help them out. I know a lot of people, here's the situation that I heard by phone the other day. There was a bird who was in distress, and we turned them away because Dr. Ryan was off for the next 24 hours. We just blindly turned them away. I would have rather referred that patient to Dr. Wexler's hospital right down the road from us so that bird had a chance. Y'all have to use your common sense here and make these things happen for clients. You can't just say, oh no, I'm sorry, or I'm ignorant and I can't help you, and let it go. I just think we have a real responsibility to advocate for patients, and I was disappointed to see us fail in that way. At minimum, the other thing that I want you to know is that the LSU Small Animal Hospital operates 24/7, and they always have someone who's available. And it may be an hour drive from Lafayette or however far from the client, or they may not be willing, but we have an obligation to direct them to the appropriate place. You cannot just say, I'm so sorry, we can't help you, because that's conveyed as, this is not my problem. And it is. You're in this profession to be a pet advocate, so do better. And that goes for everybody. You have to drop what you're doing and direct that client where they need to be. No matter how difficult or no matter how inconvenient it is in that second. I think it's a responsibility that we have ethically, and I want to see us do better. The next thing that I want to see us doing better on is the effort for 5-star clients. We talked a lot about this in the summer months because we were having people who have been loyal to our business for a very long time be very disappointed that we are not able to expand our horizon a little bit to fit their needs, that we were becoming a very yes or no, black or white kind of answer practice, and that there was no bend. Maybe a bend sometimes can be that there's a client who's been very loyal to us for a long time, and they need to drop their pet off to the resort 15 or 30 minutes early, and we say no. But you have to know that we're in the building. The hospital is open 24/7. The resort team arrives as early as 5 a.m. So although you may not have known how to make that happen, so you were reluctant to say no, there are ways to make that happen. What I would have rather seen happen would be to say, you know what, let me check and see if we can do this. Can I call you back in a few minutes? And take that client information and find out if there's a way. Y'all, we have a manager on call 24/7. These managers on call are not sitting around waiting for somebody to get sick and you call out. Yes, that is a function of their job, but they're there to help you with any problem that you have. I have hand selected and trained experts in our business who have their eye and their heart on quality to make sure that they can answer any question that you have. And there's layers to them. So if you can't get one, you can get another. If they don't know, they can get another. They will get you an answer. It is their job. You have to ask them. We recently had a 5-star client. And when I say 5-star, I mean this is a person who follows every recommendation, has been coming to our practice for 15 years. They utilize every service that we offer, from one side of the building to the other, every service. And we told them that they couldn't drop their pets off 30 minutes early one time when we had a staff of 20 people in the building, yet the front door of the resort wasn't open. That's not good. We cannot do that. We are damaging our reputation by not being flexible. It makes us appear as if we're Walmart and we're saying, yes, there's 30 cashiers here, or 30 registers, but there's only 2 cashiers. We're not going to flex to help you. We're not going to put client needs first. We're going to just do us. That's not us at all. We have so much heart and we are so focused on what we do. We have to do better. I'm sure that as I'm saying this, you're thinking, oh my gosh, and you're looking to your side to say, who was it? It doesn't matter who it was. If we are operating as a team, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So it was everybody. It was everybody's responsibility to do better in that sense. So there will be many opportunities to redeem ourselves. We just have to be ready to do that. So the past is the past, but going forward, you have to know my expectation is I really want y'all to pay attention to those stars in Avamark. That gives you a sense of when you can bend the rules. You can bend the rules whenever you think you can. You just have to make sure that you can do it. Here's one more example for you that's really, really important. Just this last week, we had a client who came in and they asked us if they could have their daughter's dogs or their family dogs groomed with us because the dogs were going to serve as ring bearers in their wedding. Insert awe moment here. They wanted it to be a surprise for their daughter. So they wanted the pets to look perfect and they were going to surprise them as ring bearers within the wedding. So the whole thing was a surprise. And they told us that from the beginning, hey, make sure you don't call my daughter. Write it down. Don't call my daughter. This is the circumstance. Don't call my daughter. Don't call my daughter. Did I mention, please don't call my daughter? Guess what we did? We called the daughter and said, your dogs are ready. They're here. They've been groomed. And we messed that up. And it doesn't matter if that happened within our grooming or bathing department or our pet care department or our resort or our whole practice. It happened. We also had a situation just like that happen at our hospital. We mismedicated pets when we said we would give a medication at a certain time and we didn't. That happened within the last week too. Our nurses did that. Our customer care team overpromised and underdelivered. This is popping up everywhere because we are making promises and we're not making sure that we follow through to keep them. So my suggestion is we're on both ends in the deep end. You can't make a promise that you're not sure that we can keep. And if you make a promise, you have to make sure that we keep it. So if you choose to make an arrangement for a 5-star client, you better make sure that you know how to document it so you set it up to where we've done it perfectly. You can't make assumptions. So get advice on how to do that. If another situation comes along, like the groom dogs and the wedding and they're serving as the ring bearers and you're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Yes, we want to be a part of this. Yes, we want to help you do this, but you don't know how, call the manager on call. It's your responsibility. If you say yes to the client, you are saying yes to the situation and the responsibility. You have to see it through. I cannot be more clear about this. This is the reputation of our company. We are outgrowing the ability to recover from these things as quickly as you want us to. So we will hold you personally and directly accountable for over-promising and under-delivering. It's just as offensive on the client care side to me as it is on the patient care side. So I will hold you as accountable for doing that as I do for mismedicating a patient. This is your job. This is your livelihood. This is my livelihood. And we're a whole team operating together. So if one person messes up, we kind of all go down for it. So help each other out and know that these systems exist so that you can do your job well. So the real failure is not utilizing the system. Call that manager on call. They've got your back. They will help you. And if they don't, call the next person. Call me directly. Call Melinda directly. Call Dr. Patrick. There's a way to do everything. And if you don't know, you can figure it out. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the upcoming event that we have in November called Nomenclature. This is a passed down responsibility of, hey, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the data conversion that we have coming up. I warned you guys for the last couple of months. Step one was we had hardware conversion. All new computers, all new equipment, all new setup. So check, that part's done. Next thing we had, resort software, Ginger. Check, that part's done. So now the next thing that we're preparing for is called nomenclature. That's quite literally where we go and we change our codes to be uniform with that of other NVA practices. And there's a couple benefits to this. One is it kind of prepares us for phase 4, which we'll get to when we share our vision at our meetings in 2 weeks. And then the second thing that it does is when we have the same codes, we can do something called benchmarking. It helps us to know our practice's performance a little bit better because we can follow a budget, we can be compared to other practices, and we can know how well we're doing. We can set better goals, and we can know where there are maybe weak parts of our practice that we're underperforming in that we can grow. So really excited to do that. A couple things that we want you to know about going forward is first step is we're changing some of the categories. So in our inventory categories, they were really broken out before on the inventory list. Those are being consolidated right now. So probably before you're even seeing this video, that'll be done. The next thing is our treatment list. Those categories are changing soon, but most of what's going to change are going to be the codes. So when you go to look for an item, the code will be different, but the description of the treatment codes will be the same. Groups will be the same, that kind of thing, just the codes will be different. So we'll have to rework those. Surely some glitches and some problems might pop up on the way to perfection with this. We'll help you through those as quickly and with the least amount of disruption as possible. We're making our nomenclature conversion on November 19th, probably the 18th and the 19th, something like that. We'll let you know when it gets much closer how to proceed and if anything changes for work assignments, etc. that day. But we'll have a probably lengthy time, probably 12 to 14 hours out of Avamark at that time where this conversion all happens. And then we'll have probably some time after that where we'll have to be on standby to fix little pop-up issues that come up. So I just wanted to let you know those things are coming. Along with that, there's going to be a change in how you can access your own personal account within Avamark, so your pet's records. Everybody's own account will be set to view only, so you won't be able to make changes to your own account. That means that you won't be able to add pets, you won't be able to enter charges or accept payments from yourself, etc. It's just kind of a little security block, and it's really not that big of a deal because most of us don't want to do that anyways. When you bring your own pet, you want to be the client. You don't want to have to self-serve in a lot of cases. So those will be set that way. You'll just have to get help when, again, you're doing any of those things beyond just scheduling an appointment. So just make sure that you understand that's going to come and probably start happening within the next few days, and you just redirect by getting help from another team member to make all that come together. Okay, y'all, that is the update for today. I know it was a long one, and I know that a lot of your department managers have long ones. We just are really in the home stretch of the good to great thing here right now. So this is kind of it. Buckle up. Let's finish strong. And in about 2 weeks, we're going to meet to share what the next little stretch looks like for you. Okay, great job. I appreciate you all so much. Take care of yourselves. Keep yourselves healthy. And I hope you have a great rest of your week.